he's a big defender of kind of Enlightenment ideals. He's probably one of the main people for like participatory governance, but on like big scales. And he talks a lot about deliberation, and the criticism that is often given is that he's misunderstood the nature of language, that there seems to be an assumption that language is oriented towards like rationality and truth, and that all language, all in a sort of Wittgensteinian way, all like language games operate on like one level of language or one level of rationality. And the criticism is often, well, actually there's a whole bunch of different word games that operate in slightly different ways, and that also, his kind of like rationalist view of people genuinely coming to participatory agreement. People say, well, you're kind of eliminating passion from politics. Like, people don't calmly deliberate and reach big, in large groups, reach consensus. It's like, particularly with the realities of policymaking, at some point you make a decision, and that's always going to be a moment of closure, and you're always excluding some people's opinion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some additional question.
Yeah. But actually, coming back to a question from earlier, I wanted to ask, so with the ICRP dialogues, are they advertised in anywhere except the website?
For ICRP dialogue, on ICRP, so you have the website.
Mm-hmm.
There is one report which should be made on you had the report of the proceeding of the workshop which was organized in December 2015. So then it's put on the ICRP website and on the Ethos Fukushima website.
But more, I meant, are the events advertised on anywhere that isn't the ICRP website or Ethos or in Fukushima, in terms of calling for people to participate in the workshop?
To participate to the ICRP dialogue. No, in fact, the participation to the ICRP dialogue is essentially open, or it's made by Japanese people participating to the organization of the dialogue, and then there is no open call for that. I don't know in which ways they're working, but it's not even at the international level. It's not an open call for all the people willing to come to the ICRP dialogue are welcome. It's much more a small community among which the information is delivered, and then people who there is no full restriction, but if someone asking to come, so you were able to come. So if someone is willing to come, he can come, except that it's not publicly, the publicity is not made broadly for the international participant. And the objective is not to, this is to find an equilibrium for different reasons. First of all, for the equilibrium, if we have, like in the NEA workshop, where you have a large majority of foreigners with only a few Japanese people, this is not the spirit of the ICRP dialogue. The second point is also organizational aspect, because we can imagine that you have a group of Japanese people and you have a large amount of observers. But then there is also a budgetary constraint with regard to that. So, due to all these elements, it's only a direct relationship for the people to be aware of the next dialogue and to apply for the next dialogue.
Interesting.
It's not an open call. It's not an international conference where you can advertise and all the people can come.
Yeah.
But this is maybe a lack of transparency for, but then it's also for practical reason.
Yeah,
and maybe it's not fully justified to do that. It could be better to advertise much more, but with the difficulty to be in position to restrict the participation.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't have a clear answer to that kind of tangle, but I think it's a long-term question that I've had, not so much about the international participants. I'm just like,
so this is
that's kind of fine.
Then for national,
but for local
national,
people,
it's not so clear because at the beginning, the crucial point, if I well remember the discussion I had notably with Otsura Niwa or with Yoko Ando or with some other people from Japan, the quite sensitive issue was to secure the dialogue for the participant. And because they were, when they tried to ask people, so we say, okay, we'll do a dialogue in Yamakia. Then they have to approach the people of Yamakia and try to organize the preparation which will give confidence for the potential participant to come and to deliver their story, because it's quite intrusive in the story of the people, and so what was reported by our Japanese colleagues, they had great difficulty to. They identified and they discussed with a large number of people locally, but then for different reasons, which were not necessarily explicit, but few of them were ready or were available or different aspects, and so finally it was not so easy to have a large participation. So this is one fact, and due to this reason, the publicity was not fully, I think, was not an open call on saying that all the people from the municipality got the information could come.
Yeah.
It's not. There is no official restriction, but I don't know.
Yeah, because I was going to say that on the ethos it's always advertised as like open to journalists. If you want to come and write about it, go for it. You don't have to secure permission. But it's a question of like, well, who goes on the ethos website other than people who already know about it?
But then.
And I think, I mean, I can understand why Jacques gets frustrated with it as a criticism of the workshop concept, because I don't think it in any way invalidates the workshop concept. But I think there is that question of how does the participatory model scale? Like, if you imagine like the Japanese government adopting the participatory ideal to radiological protection and saying, right, we want to do things like this across, Fukushima prefecture. It's kind of the question of, well, how do you scale up from this? Because it seems it's both quite time intensive in terms of, the experts that you're getting together for this kind of co-expertise model, but also that there seems to be like a happy medium in terms of the size of any given seminar, where you don't want it too large that it becomes intimidating and people don't want to share their experience. And I don't think it's a trivial problem.
Yeah, this is not only focusing on ICRP dialogue. This is one topic on which we try to brainstorm, and this is one topic that we will further investigate this year. all these questions.